Hi, my name is Chase Calderwood, and I'm here to talk to you about the interpersonal skills that it takes to be a sound engineer. So what a sound engineer does is basically they're responsible for the quality of sound and how different instruments work together, and also getting the house crew, sound crew, and the performers together to basically make for the highest quality performance that they can make. And in order to do this, you obviously, like I said, have to work with plenty of different crews and different people, and you have to have all their different interests in mind, so it takes a lot of interpersonal skills to make this run smoothly. While looking on the UC Berkeley website, they talk about how they want people with good interpersonal communication skills when they're scouting for people that would be good sound engineers, and people that are able to work on the fly, and people that are also assertive. This means that the messages that you send to other people on the job also need to be assertive. And messages can vary in assertiveness. While you don't want to be aggressive, you do want your messages to be thought out and clear and without using malice, like not caring about other people's feelings. Basically what you want to do is have the both audiences best interest in mind, as well as your own and the musicians, so that everything goes smoothly and it works for the entire group. For my interview, I decided to interview the director of bands at Ambrose, Nicholas Enns, and he talked about the importance of building relationships with both different crew members and performers, and also people that are hiring you. One of the best ways to do this would be following the theory of competency. And what the theory of competency states is that we form relationships with hopes that our skills will rub off on other people and other people's skills will rub off on us. So it's a shared value. In the sense of a sound engineer, getting knowledge from a musician may help us, just like getting our feedback from them might help them, in the sense that both of us will see things from a different point of view. So maybe if I'm arguing with someone, say a musician, and their amp is too loud, talking to them and getting a relationship with them rather than fighting with them can maybe see why I think that they might not sound as good as they want to. And also, if I talk to them, they might see why I think that I might want them to dial it down, and so that we can hear other members of the band just as clearly as them. There are conflicts, obviously, that arise working with a bunch of different people and working with musicians, as sometimes they're perfectionists. So in my interview, Enns also stated that the best thing to do is to eliminate these problems before the day of the show. So that means if you have to email someone or call someone or text someone with any regards due to like a question, or maybe like you need to say, hey, we should order backup cables because it might rain this day, or it's really humid, or it's dry, or whatever you have to do, you should figure that out days before, if not weeks before, so that when it comes time, you're all good to go and you don't have to fight with anyone. He also emphasized the importance of scheduling. Like I said, you want to do this stuff beforehand, and getting everyone there at the same time rather than, oh, you're going to be here on this day and you're going to be here on this day. It's really important for all of you to be there at the same time, so that come the time for the performance, everyone knows exactly what the climate of your workspace is going to be like. Because if you say all these things on text and certain people are at the studio hall or whatever you want to call it on the day where it comes to the performance, they might not know what to do when they're actually all like live there together. Not all conflicts can be avoided, obviously, and like I said, musicians can be hard to work with. A lot of times, I mean, that's why a lot of music sounds different, because each band wants their own music and own songs to sound a certain way. So there's a lot of accommodating when it comes to setting up for live sound. In this situation, you have to think about everyone's best interests in mind, because while they are the ones performing. The people that are paying and coming to the show also want to have their best experience. So you have to have the crowd's best interest, your best interest, so that you look good, and then also the musicians so they can perform to the best of their ability. This is known as the win-win strategy, which basically means that you're involving everyone's satisfaction in the final decision of whatever you come to in your conflict, so that not one person's left out. And even though the crowd aren't there to, I don't know, fight and state their opinion on how they think things should be, you still have to keep them in mind and kind of think about everyone that's involved in the process rather than just you and the performer. In conclusion, it's important to have these personal skills because obviously you're going to be working with a lot of people, and for something like this to run smoothly, you have to be able to communicate with them, whether that be nonverbal, like while you're doing this live and you're trying to tell someone and they're on the edge of the soundboard to either cut something or stop or fade it out. There's going to be people yelling and there's no way for you to scream at them. So going over this, like I said, days before, you can have nonverbal signals to turn something down or turn something up or whatever you want to do, as well as being stern and upfront so that everyone knows exactly what to do come showtime, because being kind of hesitant doesn't really work as a sound engineer, because if you're hesitant and music is all about timing, something like that could come by and you missed a cue and the band sounds awful, or you were supposed to hit a light cue and it won't be there. So there's a lot of thinking on your feet, but in order to think on your feet, you have to know what you're doing before you go in there. So there's a lot to, I guess you could say, planning this, which takes a lot of interpersonal communication skills, as well as building relationships so that you keep getting hired and people keep wanting to go to your venue and keep wanting to see your live performances. So in that way, it's very important to have a bunch of friends and know what they're doing, as well as you have credibility yourself. So thank you, and I hope you learned something.